Welcome to Malibash Media, everyone. I am your host, Ashley, and today we have a talented guest artist, Ryan Sims, with us. And are excited to have him on our first launch for a real live show on Malibash Media. Ryan, how cool is it to be here today? We're excited to have you.
Sweet. I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so excited. Ryan's super talented, and we're going to be jumping into some of his work, and he's going to talk and share a whole bunch of it. So if you guys would like to, please add some comments and also send us messages if you would like us to ask some questions for Ryan on any of our social media pages. Make sure you follow us so that we can get those messages and ask Ryan at the end of the show, so that you can kind of connect that, create that personal connection with him as well. We created Malibash Media to spotlight artists and professionals in the business. And we are, right now launching not only Malibash.com, which is a platform that houses all types of media professionals. And right now we're working towards more of the go-to for companies that are hiring for all their company commercials and film advertising needs. So definitely check us out on Malibash.com. If you're not able to listen to the whole live with us, we will be reposting this onto our websites on articles and videos, and then also onto our YouTube page. So check us out there because we are live currently on LinkedIn and YouTube. So let's here and talk to Ryan. He is a cosplay and fashion photographer, CGI extraordinaire. I mean, what should we say, like superhero type person, real life superhero.
Sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with
that. Yeah, right? I was thinking about that. I was like, he's a real life superhero. This is good. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about you, where you are, and how you got to where you're at currently. Just give us a little deal.
Oh, man, I always debate, like, how far back do I go for this story? It's like, well, we start at birth, and my mother's we go from there. So I'm originally, let me turn my volume down. I think I might have had a little bit of there you go. I'm originally from Laurel, Mississippi. Born and raised there. Brother and I, real super nerdy. We're still super nerdy, so I can't, can't escape it.
You guys are cool nerds.
Yeah, well, it's cool to be a nerd now, right? Yeah. So grew up with comics and movies and games and everything, and obviously that carried over quite well into adulthood. And oh gosh, I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I get here? I moved to Nashville, Tennessee. My wife and I both love music, so we initially moved here for music. I went to school for digital entertainment and game design, which kind of introduced me to Photoshop, which is where I, fell in love with Photoshop. And then I started getting several photography jobs from there. So it's like, wanted to learn photography to help the Photoshop, and Photoshop was helping the photography. And so they worked well together. And then, at some point I just kind of was like, all right, what kind of stuff does Ryan want to do? and this links back to the childhood, and doing all the fun superhero stuff. And so, I mean, to make a really long story incredibly short, that's kind of me in a nutshell.
No, I love that. That's fantastic. And I know you talked about, like, getting started in doing that portrait photography, and that kind of helps to grow you up into doing the cosplay and everything. And by the way, if anybody knows how to get Ryan a sponsorship by Adobe for Photoshop or anything, let him know, because he's really great and totally deserves that. And we're going to see some of his work here really soon.
That'd be awesome.
But if you guys to find Ryan, you're going to want to go onto ryansimsphotography.com, or you can find him on Ryan Sims on Instagram. Yep. And kinds of places
YouTube
that you
and
know,
yeah,
he's
all
got
that stuff.
classes and stuff. So I would highly recommend that you can follow, find him, and watch his work because he's really fantastic. So I found Ryan on Instagram and absolutely couldn't believe that this was created by you. I was just like, this is just somebody who's like taking, if you think of like a Marvel poster from some sort of Cinemax theater, this is his work. And I was thinking, oh, this is somebody copying and pasting, stuff that they've taken. But no, this is legit. And you guys should definitely check it out. But Ryan, you get to share some of that with us. And I want you to talk about some of your favorite pieces, some of your favorite things to work on. How long does it take you to work on a project? I know we talked about this a little bit, but I know the audience would be really cool for them to find out, your processes to all of it, because this to me looks like it should take a couple, like a week.
Yeah.
But how long does it take you to create a masterpiece? And what do you like to do more? I know we talked about like fashion and your portrait. You have a lovely family that you've done things with. So what do you enjoy focusing on the most?
Oh gosh, so many questions there. We'll work in reverse. We'll start with your last. I guess it really just depends. I mean, people ask me what's like the favorite thing you've ever done. I'm like, I probably haven't done it yet. It's the next thing. The next thing, that's my favorite one. There are times where I feel like I work on things that are like intricately detailed, and to me they're really cool, but just because of the amount of detail that goes into them. But I tell people all the time, and it was something that I grew up with, the mentality of less is more. And so like I really enjoy just portrait work that's just simple, visually stunning, and there's not really a whole lot of intricate detail. It's just simple, but it's beautiful, and so I don't really have a favorite. It depends on what mood I'm in that day, I guess. But but I definitely resonate very strongly with the less is more mentality, because a lot of times people try to make their composites super, super busy, and they can look epic and amazing. And I'm all for that. But sometimes, the very simple, are the most compelling, or eye catching. So I guess I'll share my screen real quick so you can kind of see what I see. I'm just I'm screen sharing my Instagram account right now, just simply because it is basically the biggest body of portfolio work that I've got out there. It's just everything that's on Instagram. And so
and I love this because what you're saying is less is more. I've done modeling, and so you capture just some of the best poses, and your lighting's so on point. I've seen some photographers just butcher even the prettiest person. So this is just absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Well, I brought it up, and I've scrolled a lot to get here, but I bring this one up a lot just because there was a lot of planning involved in it. Obviously, this was, was it? No, it was this year. What is time anymore? This was March of this year, but we had planned it well into the previous year, because we had shot it in December of 2020. But we planned for months before that, because we knew that the Snyder Cut was coming out, and so we wanted to kind of do something that was paying homage to that. And all of these guys are all super talented, like custom made their suits, and they're all like cinematic quality and just like super awesome people. They did the black and white version. So you got Tim and Kinsey and Mark, and that's Tim again as the Flash. And then we have, he was new to me. I forgot his name because I'd met him that day. It's somewhere in the comments. But I had to like CGI parts of his body. So that was new to me because, I was new to CGI at that point. And then of course,
how long have you been doing the CGI part of it?
The CGI part. So literally this year, I took a course with ProEDU. My friend Dustin Volkema, he was the instructor for it, and that was like in January. And so really it was this year when I kind of like dove. It was a 6-week course, so like dove headfirst into the CGI realm. And it's just been like,
I mean, you're Yeah, you're way ahead of the game. This is top notch work. I mean, seriously.
But it was
And
cool because it did catch the attention of Zack Snyder himself, and he shared
yeah,
it on his Instagram account, and that was really really cool for us as fans who were wanting to pay homage to, this awesome, his awesome version of the movie. And just all the planning. So it was nice because there was a lot of planning and work that came together to kind of make it come together, come together. um,
I love it.
and so that's why it's memorable for me. And plus, I've just become such good friends with all these people. And so that's one that kind of sticks out in my mind just because of the amount of time and planning and detail that kind of went into it.
Well, these guys are so lucky too. I'm slightly jealous because they have these huge photos for their portfolio. I mean, like they can just say, "Oh yeah, this is me and this is me," and show it off to all their friends too. So I mean, that's it's a really great bragging rights. And I just love too how you can do the dark and you can do the light. You can do really exquisite detail, and then you can also do like really great simplistic. It's not simplistic though. It's just got some great depth, and like I said, the lighting and everything. Where do you shoot most of these at?
Here's another good example of less is more. Like I love just shots like that. There's no no Photoshop. It was just simple, So that whole photo shoot, just that specific photo shoot, was actually just done in. So this is Mark, and this was all done in Mark's living room. So like it wasn't any like high end studio or any place like it was in his living room. And that's the beautiful thing about Photoshop is that you can kind of do anything anywhere. I've done a lot of work at Studio 615 in Nashville. I've gone to locations, I've gone to cons and shot. But like really, if you look, and this is primarily the Photoshop work. Probably the majority of all the things I've ever shot have been shot in my tiny 1-car garage at my house. And so,
God, that's awesome.
So that's, again, the beauty of Photoshop is that you can kind of be anywhere,
Yeah. I mean, I think something with COVID that's helped kind of almost get very creative is realizing that, sometimes you can make little things just work just as well as, the big studios and all the extra fluff,
For sure.
And that's definitely the case here. But I just, I love, how do you get the inspiration for a shoot? I know obviously you have your jobs you have to do, but like for fun shoots, where do you get that inspiration?
Sure. Oh man, everywhere. No, honestly, and I've got my computer up, so I'll just show you. I mean, I just, I get a lot of inspiration from Pinterest. So I'll create like mood boards and just gather a lot of different inspiration. So if I drag this over here real quick and kind of pull up, you can see I've got like boards for days, like fantasy art, and you click into fantasy. And you click into fantasy art.